have you ever experienced like turbulence in like other relationships, like your friendships? I've experienced, my very best friend became a mom. Oh my gosh. My godson's 4. So 4 years ago. And we used to talk every single day, multiple times a day. I mean, we were just best friends from freshman year in college. Yeah. And I had no idea to expect such change. Yeah. And it hurt my feelings. Yeah. I mean, it was traumatic for me at the beginning. Too. Hurt her feelings too. And we did not, we didn't even know to expect it. And then as it was happening, we were just like, what's happening? But we ended up having these beautiful conversations, really understanding. And we're absolutely super close today, but we definitely went through some things, missing each other.
Some friendships aren't meant to be, though, forever. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that's the hardest thing to realize as well. We go through different phases in life, and people are in our life at different times for different reasons. And I know, like, I recently lost, she's not dead, but lost, I do say lost somebody. She's alive. A best friend, we were friends for 15, 16 years. Ooh, wow. My child's godmother. Yeah. And we did not speak. We haven't spoken in 2 years. And it happened like when I was getting married. It was the weirdest thing. Like our relationship just continued to deteriorate and we could just never like get back on the same page. And it was like a host of little petty things that kept building up. But then it got to a point where she sent me a very lengthy email of how she did not want to be my friend anymore. It was well written because there was not a typo. So I was like, these are her real feelings. Because typos means you were emotional. No typos and all the comments mean you meant that. So it really hurt me. Like, and I'm the type of person where I'll try like 16 times before I cut somebody off. But then once I do, like, we will literally never speak again. But I always try to resolve a situation, especially because I lost my sister when I was 22. She was 24. So I'm very like, if you would be sad if someone passed away, then you need to fix that relationship. Like, I'm not a prideful person at all, But she did not want to fix the relationship, so I had to let it go. And it's hurtful, but I think it happens with a lot of women. It could be just different things that happen, and it's miscommunication, and you look back like someone was mad at you for something you did 2 years ago, they never told you, and then now that you're 30, I'm 33 years old, it's like, well, girl, I didn't know you were mad. We could have fixed that. You know what I mean? Like, you should have told me that 10 years ago. Yeah. And I just kept doing it, and you never told me it bothered you, So, I mean, it definitely was a life lesson as well on communication and making sure that you're being very candid within your friendships. But it definitely happens that you're not alone. And listen, when people have babies, honey, it's not about you no more.
No. And I think
don't take it personal.
I definitely, and for me, I think I was like, well, all these women I know that had kids, I don't think they fell off the face of the earth. So I was looking like, dang, what happened?
But let me tell you this too. Your friend was doing something that I wish I would have did. Because when I had my daughter at 25, I didn't stop talking to my friends. And I was up on the phone with them till 2 a.m. listening to their problems. And they were definitely a part of my relationship, which was not healthy. And they were way too involved in my life. And being selfish when you have a child is the healthiest thing you can do. Because it is exhausting being a mother, And so her doing that, it was like her picking her child over you, which she should have done. But it's not against you. It's just that like being a mother is really, really hard. It's a hard job. It's 24/7. It's never ending. And you have to make a choice. Like, I can't sit on the phone with you, girl. I got to take care of my kid, No. So, I mean, it's hard. There's no handbook for that. And she didn't know and you didn't know. And I'm glad that you guys were able to evolve. But listen, I wish I would have did that.
Ooh, yeah. I had a very interesting experience. It's weird. I'm my whole life, I'm never the drama girl. Like I said, I have a lot of male friends, generally. But I'm a pretty personable person. So I just don't do female drama. One of my best friends, she's literally was like a sister to me since we were like 11 years old. I was almost 5 months pregnant and went into preterm labor. Sorry. She, during that time of losing the baby and like, she came to visit me. I lived in New York at the time, but she was just weird. It was like she wasn't even there. She wasn't supportive. Like phone calls stopped. She wasn't very close to the person I was with. So it was a weird experience. And probably about 2 months after what would have been my due date was her birthday. And I planned this like nice surprise birthday with her sister back home in the Bay Area. And all our friends are going to be there. It's this like whole amazing party. And of course, work comes up and I can't make it, but I knew I would be there the next week. So I'm like, okay, it's like 6 but it's a surprise anyway. She doesn't even know what's happening. Ever since that day, something happened that night. I was not there. And I went home a week later, and all of a sudden, she was not taking my calls. She was too busy, which you have to understand, this was a person where this was my sister. Our families are each other's family. When I come to town, I just go to, we don't call and say, hey, I'm coming over. It's just not what you do. So it was weird. It totally blindsided me. And then when I kind of was like sharing this with some of my other friends, they were like, yeah, it's not for me to get into. Like, so that caused a strain on my other relationships, because now you're feeling like all these people are having a conversation about something that you're not privy to, and nothing happened. Like when you're reaching out to a person, you're saying, listen, if I did something wrong, let me know what that is. We are sisters. Like, I kind of need to know, let me make things right, but I can't apologize for something. I don't know what I did. And it just never happened. And 2 years later, our other best friend actually recently got married in May, and that has helped kind of bring our relationship together again, mainly because we had to physically see each other and be in the same place. And literally for me, it was like, I was just very, very hurt. It was like, like, where are you? And then at the lowest point of my life,
but you still don't know what happened?
Now we've spoken. It was like, well, it's been things over the years. And I'm like, but over the years, we've never even had there's never been a blowout. There's never been
That's so hard.
You're sitting with somebody every day, laughing,
every day,
watching movies, eating cookies.
Yes.
And they're mad at you.
Right.
For something 10 years ago, you don't even know.
Almost.
But when we finally spoke about it as of late, it came down to her just being like, listen, and you could tell when I finally was hearing some of the reasons through other people, and then finally being like, listen, I'm not trying to be messy. Like, we're all very close. We're like sisters. Like, this is what it is. You could tell that it was like a lot of self-reflection things, like, or jealousy issues, but not like I'm jealous of you, just not being happy with herself.
Right.
And she's made the steps now to like be healthy for herself, which is obviously the most important thing over our friendship, over anything. And she's apologized and, really made an effort, but it was a reality check for adulthood. And, I remember being a kid and your parents say, the friends you have today are not going to be your friends forever. And I'd be like, you don't know what you're talking about. Yes, they are. We're going to be BFFs forever. I got the necklace. It's real. Yeah. Like, this is real. But
interesting too sometimes is like how you just being you and where you are in your life at that moment
can really bother somebody.
Can really bother someone.
Really bother
and you're
somebody.
like, oh shoot, you fell off.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I did, but I know I'm growing. I know I'm changing. I know I'm like, I know what I want. And all of a sudden you see people like fall to the wayside. And an ex-friend of mine, her mom once said to me, like, it's a reason, a season, or a lifetime with friends. And that's what I always take with me now, because the earlier friendships that died off, that I was like, I'm wounded. I'm so wounded. Now I can take that little reason, season, or lifetime thing and find peace and be like, look at that season we had. That was so beautiful. And it's okay. And now I have space for what's going to come next.